specifically on two calls. You know, the carrying, how some guys do it and some guys can't, and the traveling. What is your take on what you've seen? I mean, based on your own personal experience. Not trying to take any money out of your pocket or anything,
No,
but
yeah. I don't know. It happens really fast in the game. You can obviously slow it down and rewind it and catch the violations if they're there. I mean, this is their jobs. They get paid to do this. They may miss calls. They may not. I think we need to be better as a team, obviously, and trying to be more fundamental. But, I mean, if this is the direction that they're going in, and there's not much we really can do about it.
is there something to be gained from, like, talking to referees early in a game just to get a feel for what they call it? Do you study them in advance, any of that stuff?
No, it does not matter.
Just wait
They're either going to call it or not. I mean, you can go over there, plead your case as much as you want, but they kind of got like a mind of their own. They kind of like do their own thing. So no matter what you say, how polite or impolite you come and talk to them, they kind of got their own agenda.
Last game, I think the entire bench had a positive net rating. Not the starters, and Draymond said after the game, like just a couple weeks ago, that wasn't a realistic expectation with you guys. Just what has changed, and what did you feel specifically in that Dallas game from the second unit that's working for you?
I think we're starting to get a little bit of a rhythm. We've been seeing the same guys in that second unit for the past week and a half or so, so we're starting to get a little bit more comfortable. Guys are knowing their roles. Who's shooting, who's passing. You know, we're kind of starting to get in that chemistry a little bit, and I don't think anybody's worried about the first unit or, you know, maybe they just had like a tough stretch or so, but we're putting all the pieces together and everything will be fine soon. I mean, we're starting to gain our chemistry, like I said, in the second unit and the first units. They're good, so everything's going to fall into place.
What specifically having Draymond Green in that unit to help you guys like push the pace and maybe even add leadership? How does that just help you guys within the flow of the game?
In the second unit or the team in general? Second unit, he's another facilitator out there. I think early on in the season, when I was out there kind of being a primary playmaker, that's how I was being guarded. So now being able to have another playmaker in there who also can set screens and get people open makes it it opens the floor a lot more space. Obviously, they're going to sag off of Draymond a little bit, so he uses that to his advantage by getting us open with screens. And he also knows how to play, so hitting him in the pocket or having him make whatever decisions he can make on the backside is huge for our second unit because we got guys now who got chemistry, we know how to play, and you know, everybody's locked in and playing their role.
Does it allow you to have more of just like kind of a pure scoring mindset?
Yeah, especially with Draymond in there, I can be more aggressive. I know if I need a shot or, you know, if I need to try to get a look, I know where to go to if I need one. So I can just make and make the right plays just throughout the course of the game, the course of the offense. But now with the second unit, we got the rotations we got. I know, like if need be, I know where I can go to for a shot.
Following up on that, I mean, also Dante, he's talked about how he kind of wants his role to be, he doesn't think too much about scoring, just about facilitating. Does that also help you, just that two-man game with him?
Yeah, it's tremendous playing with Dante. He knows how to play. He's a tremendous defender. And he's extremely excellent on the offensive end, whether it's making the right play, making the right read, being able to space the floor, knock the shot down, and we really play well off of each other. So just being able to have guys out there on the court who want to make the right play and just are going to make the right play makes it a lot easier, not only for our unit but just for our team and our style of play.
Jordy, forgive my ignorance because I'm washed, so I would need you to help me understand this. So we've seen you shoot the lights out, be incredibly hot, and we've seen you sometimes where you can't buy a shot. What is usually the difference? Is it something technical? Is it shot selection? Is it fatigue? What usually goes wrong?
Nothing. Sometimes they just don't go in, bro. If I had the answer, I'd tell you. If I have the answer, I'll tell you. I mean, I don't know. We play so many games, and it's just reps over and over and over. You shoot 24/7 all the time in practice, in the game, and shoot around. Like sometimes they're just not gonna fall. I was talking to Steph about it the other day, and he had a stretch last year for like 2 months where he was like shooting to the standard that he normally knows he can shoot at, and it happens to the best of us, the greatest shooters of all time. I'm literally behind Steph and Clay. And a couple weeks ago, people were trying to get on Clay because he couldn't make shots, and now he's shooting like, 50% in the last like 5 games or something. So it happens, especially as a shooter. If it was easy to shoot threes, everybody would do it. So kind of figure out what it is, go back to the drawing board, go to the fundamentals, and you just work through it.
Speaking of Clay, sorry, he had 60 points on 11 dribbles. I was wondering what's the fewest dribbles you could get 60?
I'm on the other side of the spectrum.
Less than 60 dribbles.
Definitely. You said less than 11 dribbles?
Less than 60.
Dribbles? Probably. Maybe. Definitely not less than 11, though.
I mean, just through that kind of conversation you're having with him about shooting, I mean, do you view yourself kind of as a streaky shooter in a sense, or I guess do you view everybody?
Why would I say I'm a streaky shooter?
Do you view shooting as a streaky thing then? Because you kind of are.
I don't think anybody wants to be a streaky shooter. I'm a scorer.
Yeah.
I can score the basketball at 4 levels, layups, floaters, mid-range threes. If my threes aren't falling, I can go to anything else. I mean, it just happens to be that the style of basketball we play in 2022 is a lot of layups and a lot of threes. And I'm constantly around Steph and Clay 24/7, so they're the best shooters of all time. I'm going to try my hardest to, learn as much as I can to become an elite three-point shooter, as elite as I can be. And, I mean, there are going to be days, there are going to be games, weeks, possibly months where you just, you don't find your rhythm. But what separates regular players, regular shooters from great shooters and elite shooters are the elite shooters don't stop shooting. So I'm not going to stop shooting.
Jonathan Kuminga says, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
It's quite the question. Before.
I'm not asking that. Jonathan Kuminga says he really wants to be a sponge, and lately the theme for him is what are the things that he can do to impact winning, and how do you see him kind of being that sponge, and his minutes increasing and his time in the rotation solidifying?
I think everybody knows how talented JK is, and the potential that he has. And I think as a young guy, the first thing you want to be worried about is how am I going to get on the floor? How am I going to get as many minutes as I can out there on the court? And you kind of got to find that balance between showing your skills, showing your ability, playing your game, being who you are, and then fitting into the system, doing whatever it takes in order for you to go out there and play as many minutes as you can, be out there and, pivotal stretches. And I think in that last game, JK did a really good job of just kind of playing in the offense, whether it was a swing to a DHO, to a dive, because we know he can go get his own bucket. We know he can create his own shot. But just kind of following the guys who are ahead of him, asking questions, seeing what it does take to get those extra 3, 4, 5 minutes. Because it could be a big positive boost. He had an amazing game last game, and he's going to continue to build off of that. But he's asking questions, and he's asking the right questions to the right people. And we're so connected as a unit over here that we want to see everybody succeed.
When you're talking about doing what you have to do in a system, but also showing your athletic skills, I thought, wow, this is Jordan like his rookie season or the season after that. Do you identify with this feeling?
100%. 100%. Just because the confidence that you have in yourself, the work that you put in and night out, and you want to be able to showcase your talents and your abilities. But if you aren't on the floor, then you can't do that. So if that means landing on 2 and kicking it out to the corner your first season or second season because it's getting you 20 minutes, do so. But as soon as you get the opportunity to kind of, gain the trust of the players and the coaches, and they kind of give you a bit more leeway, then you take that for what it is, and you show all the hard work that you've been putting in.
we talk a lot about the second unit and the way it's been playing lately, but one of the guys in that squad doesn't get as much shine as the rest of you guys, and that is Lambo. What is he bringing to that unit? Because he seems to be now, he's really fitting in with you guys.
Yeah, he's out there and he's playing his role. He's asking a lot of questions, and I think he knew our offense and our system was a bit complicated at first, but when he started to kind of understand what he was supposed to do, being able to catch and shoot, give us energy, dive on the floor, get rebounds, box out, wall up, a lot of the simple stuff, it makes it easier for him on the offensive end, and he's knocking shots down. So being able to have him out there to space the floor and give that second group a little bit of life and a little bit of energy has been key.
Y'all ever get on Anthony about that hitch in his jumper?
Nah. I mean, if he making it, we ain't gonna say nothing. We've seen worse shots.
Have you been able to check in on James, or are you kind of just giving him space while he's down there in Santa Cruz? I know you were.
Yeah. I check in with him. I text him, FaceTime him, call him. Casual amount. I mean, obviously, I don't want to like overwhelm him or like breathe down his neck or anything, but that's my guy. I would text him. Just regular conversation. It's not even always about basketball, but yeah, I mean, I've been talking to him.
What do you remember about, I guess, your experience? It was a G League bubble, so it was kind of unique, but, by week 2, week 3, I guess just what do you remember about that time down there?
For the basketball part of
just
it?
how much, stacking days down there helped more than just, hey, go down for a game, come back.
Yeah, my situation was a bit unique only because I knew I would be there for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and we were playing games like it was game, day off, game, day off, game. So me personally, it was strictly games. So it's a bit different for him now because they're having to travel and they got more practice days, and it can be spaced out a bit more, but I don't really know. I mean,
Just how much better, I guess, did week 2 feel than week 1? I mean, it just did seem like a
right.
Yeah.
The first couple games were just a bit different due to the style of play, coming from the league to the G League. But then after that, it was just about just playing, having fun, trying to win games, and just catching a rhythm. Everything kind of panned out by itself. You start to figure out the players that you're playing with, new plays, new coaches, new schemes and stuff. But this is what we signed up for, and we got to adapt.
Hi. Steve said in Dallas that he thinks that you can be one of the better defenders when you're engaged and locked in on that end of the floor. I mean, is that just a shift in mindset for you, or is that something that you're trying to put more of a focus on?
Yeah.
Do you see yourself as being one of the better defenders on this team?
Yeah, I think after playing in the playoffs, when they allow us to be a bit more physical, you get to play basketball. And then carrying that over to this year, kind of seeing a lot of the schemes, getting more experience, having a couple years in the league, starts to get more comfortable. I think it wasn't necessarily an effort thing. It was just being able to see the picture. Now I've seen it so many times. I got a lot of reps in it last year, starting to slow down a little bit. And then with age, you get a little bit stronger. You become a little bit more physical. So, I mean, obviously you want to improve. Well, me personally, I want to improve in all aspects of my game. So, I mean, it's been a focus, and still trying to, trend in the right direction. And if it's going to help our team win, I'm going to definitely try.